Hello and welcome back to the channel. You're probably familiar with a few chess variants, like duck chess or fog of war, or maybe atomic chess. But there's an entire subset of even stranger variants, with crazier rules and more suspicious pieces. Today we're playing Thermopylae, a two-player chess variant. The human players are the red and green armies, while blue and yellow are bots. The red pieces have one way of winning: capture green's general, which can survive 73 checks. The green pieces have two ways of winning. The first way is by losing their general to a bot's piece, and the second is by surviving for 72 moves, at which point yellow's rook would have checked red's furs 72 times, making red lose the game. Now let's take a look at the red and green armies. Red has a bunch of kings, queens, and bishops, as well as a few variant pieces. This double knight Frankenstein is called a knight rider, and it moves like a knight for any distance. Its cousin the wildebeest can move in an L shape of length 2 or 3 in any direction. Under those we see the archbishop, which moves like a bishop and a knight. Similarly, the general can move like a king and a knight. This triangle head is called the sergeant, and it's like a superhuman pawn, moving and capturing both diagonally and forwards. Finally, we have Spiky over here in the corner, and it's called the furs. The furs moves one square diagonally, meaning red's furs is trapped, creating the 72 move constraint. Green has a few of these pieces as well, with the exception of the soldier, which can move and capture only forward. As for the bots with the yellow and blue pieces, they make their moves randomly, but prefer to give checks over any other move, and you'll see why this is important. My goal is to win one game. Let's get started with game number 1. Alright, game number 1, we are given the red pieces. Now I'm going to start with a little bit of a strange move, which is moving my queen over and giving it up to the blue bot's pawn. I will start by saying this: there is a lot of reasoning that goes into this variant before you've even made your first move. I was looking at the top player's game in this variant, and I noticed that their strategy was to sack both queens from the get-go. And honestly, this seemed really silly when I first looked at it, but after a little bit of reasoning, it made more sense. We have to start with green's win conditions. Green can only win in two different ways. First is by surviving enough moves, 70 plus, and the second one is by giving up the general to either the blue or the yellow army, but most often it's the blue pieces. So what can we possibly do about that? Well, what we can do is we can try and lure away the blue pieces. Remember, these pieces are check motivated. This is why I mentioned this in the intro. So blue is going to be actively looking for ways to give check. Conveniently enough, we have yellow's king with 997 checks, basically through the end of the game, available at our disposal to lure blue's rook down to the bottom and kind of get stuck down here, giving infinite checks until the game ends. So in theory, now I should be able to make any move and it should capture my archbishop. Right, that's exactly what it does, and hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, that will draw away blue's rook from the green army. Now that does not even come close to winning me the game. What it does do is limit the likelihood that green gets away with the second win condition, which is giving up their general to one of the bots. Now it's up to me to figure out how to get in there and capture that green general before 68 moves have passed. I will start by capturing this wildebeest, right? And now you can see that that blue rook is going to be stuck down here, basically in my dungeon, giving a whole bunch of checks to yellow well until the end of the game. And that's really red's job here, is to get rid of one of the win conditions and then fight for the other. So we've got the tricky part of the opening out of the way. Now we have to figure out how on earth we're going to traverse this terrain without just losing a whole bunch of pieces and actually capture that general, because you'll notice at the front lines we have a bunch of kings, which are not very much known for their attacking prowess. Luckily here I can take back with one of my queens. The rook continues to give its check in the dungeon, and what I'd like to do is kind of either get these kings just out of the way so the other pieces behind can follow through on the attack, or figure out a way to string all of these kings together and make them go in safely to capture that general. Now I'm down to 49 seconds. I think I can capture this king though. I mean, free pieces are pretty big in this variant. variant because green really doesn't have that many to begin with. So handing out free pieces is extremely advantageous to me as the red pieces. We do have this camel jumping over. Wait, did this soldier just promote? Oh my goodness, I think it did. I'm going to be honest, I would have put that in the intro had I known that that were a thing. All right, we're just going to sack the queen. I am down to 36 seconds, so I definitely need to pick up the pace. This is no different than all of my other chess games where I find myself extremely low on time. It's also very tempting to sort of just click on the pieces and figure out how they move that way. So you can see this wildebeest is very mobile and actually jumps over that blockade of kings and can actually continue onto this, I believe, critical square. The camel develops. I think these two pieces cover this though. No, this moves like, the general moves like a king and a knight. How does the camel move? 3 squares, so it shouldn't be able to capture? But I'm not 100% certain. We're about to find out the hard way. I'm down to 27 seconds. The opponent is down to 30. We'll see if this wildebeest is toast or justified in its solo advance. All right, so the wildebeest, or rather the double camel that the opponent has, makes its way into the position, but the wildebeest seems fine. Oh, but how do I actually... Okay, I have a bunch of kings, so I might as well just start stampeding into the position. I'm too low on time to try and be much more fancy about it than that. So I'm going to stop overthinking it. The opponent is down under 20 seconds. It's just not that hard for me to start pushing my king into their position. Oh my goodness, the funniest thing I just realized as well is that the reason that I'm not positioned over here, like behind my army, is because pawns for me would move this way. Is that the case? Wait, this is very strange because I've just noticed that green's soldiers advance this way, which is also kind of confusing. Okay, let's again, I see no reason to overthink this. The opponent is low on time and I am just stampeding into their position with all of my pieces. I should be able to wear them down relatively quickly. So they are moving a lot faster. Let's move down here. How do I actually attack that piece? I'm gonna move down this way. I'm trying to attack the general with my knight rider because it can move like a knight for any number of moves. But that would mean I need to position myself like where? Here? No, here. Oh, I just have to attack like a regular knight. That's not very helpful. Okay, let's just dive in and grab some free material. Oh, they allow me to escape. Interesting. Okay, I'll go back. They shuffle over again. I'm gonna go this way and try to come in this way with the position. They should be able to just recapture, but if they move too quickly, then I'll be in a good spot. Okay, they do simply recapture. Oh, how do I sneakily approach the opponent? Okay, let's bring in another knight rider, and maybe I'll capture here in a sec, actually. Yeah. Oh wait, can I not capture that? Okay, I'll move here, and this should move like a bishop and a knight, so I am targeting that general now. Oh, but they don't notice it. They're down to 13 seconds, and we do manage to capture the general and win our very first game ever of Thermopylae. Now, I said that my goal was to win 1 game, pretty much because that's going to be the standard for all of these variants. I really don't know how good I am going to be at any of these given variants, but if I win the first one off the bat like that, of course I'm going to dive in for a follow-up game. I would love the chance to play with the green pieces. All right. Oh, we're given the red pieces again. I do have that opening that I like to stick to, which is shuffling the queen over to sacrifice both of them from the get-go. Oh, and this opponent is going with a different approach. They are bringing out the general from the get-go, so I don't think they're going to sit and wait. I think that they're going to try to get their general into the position as fast as they can. It is our turn again. I think I can play the exact same thing, or is that mistaken? The problem here is that green is threatening to bring the general in. So if I move my archbishop, blue shuffles the rook over, yellow would just shuffle over again. That's all that yellow ever does. Well, I guess blue wouldn't actually take. It would just shuffle over again because it prefers to give checks, right? So I should still be okay to play here, right? So blue makes the exact same predictable move. And green brings in the general. This is the exact position I was calculating. That's good. And my thought process is that no matter what I play, blue is not actually going to take. Again, it's a check prioritizing bot. So it will actually move over this way to keep that general in check. The only issue I see is that then the general would be able to move over here. And the bot has to decide between not giving any more checks or capturing the general, at which point it would capture the general. So I guess I should bring my queen in? Okay, it does the expected move of shuffling the rook over. Now, my thought by bringing the queen in was that I was going to be able to block that square. I think I've inadvertently just ended up giving away my queen. Now, what if I bring my other queen into the game? Oh, I'm so low on time. This is very tricky. Okay, let's go here with the archbishop. Does something similar to the queen, which is cover that diagonal. And I don't think that general can move anywhere where it forces that rook to capture. Oh man, this is way harder than the other opponent's approach. Because in the other game, it was basically me calling the shots. How accurately I was playing or not is debatable, but I was the one basically leading the attack. Okay, let's go here. The rook shuffles over, and I'm trying to trap the general. I think that as long as the general is right next to the rook, and it's the opponent's turn, they will always have to move it away, which will always create another square for the rook to follow. Right, so now I think whatever I play, basically, the rook will play either here or here. So I think I'm very incentivized to just go in with my archbishop. Okay, let's maybe move them how they actually move. Oh gosh, how do I play this? Here? Oh, that's kind of just free. Oh goodness. It's so hard to coordinate these variant pieces. Yeah, we do lose it, and we're down to 5 seconds as well. Okay, we'll bring the queen in as well. Oh, the general moves back. What do I do here? Oh goodness. This? No, and blue does in fact capture green's general, which wins green the game. Very, very well played by green. Before I queue up for the next game, I want to look at that one more time. I mean, obviously I had the obvious issue of hanging a bunch of pieces, which was basically completely unnecessary, but I wonder how I could have played that better. So, okay, this I think was my first clear mistake. There was no reason for me to hang this queen when I already knew that the bot was going to move out of the way. So I'd imagine something like queen here would be a lot more precise. Bot would move out of the way, or actually maybe archbishop here would have been more precise, right? Because it opens up this check, and should the general approach again, in either of these two directions, the archbishop covers both of those squares. Okay, so instead of using the queens, which of course I'm going to be drawn to do as a chess player, I'm going to try to utilize these variant pieces. I'm sure I'll be in for some hard lessons, but I think they'll be very worthwhile. Okay, with that, we are 1 for 2. Let's go to move on to game number 3. All right, game number 3. Okay, I've been handed the white pieces again against Stickbug Alpha. I'm going to stick with my same old opening. I think it's been very precise, and like I already said, it's what the highest rated player in this variant plays, and I, for the most part, understand the reasoning behind it, so I'm just going to stick with that for the time being. Not to mention, there's not really a lot of time to theory craft on your own turn, so I'm going to stick with what I know, and it seems that this opponent seems to be shuffling the pieces back and forth, so I'd imagine that this opponent is just going to play purely defensively, which again gives me the time to draw away this rook to target the enemy king. They do bring out the wildebeest. Now, I think I could just move my archbishop out of the way. I think that would still draw the rook in. I don't think I have to give it up for any reason. Right, the rook still goes down into the dungeon. We've got him basically put away in prison. He's going to hang out here for, you'd imagine, for the rest of the game. And now that we've eliminated one of the ways that green can win, now we have to go for the win. Before these 68 moves are up, we have to find a way to capture that general. Now, first things first, I'm pretty sure that is a free wildebeest, so of course I will take. Now, step number 2, I think, is actually to try to get in through the center. It's very funny how in this variant you can just capture kings willy-nilly. You just trade them off like any other piece. I mean, I wonder how much a king is worth when you do use them like a regular sort of army man piece. I mean, it's really handy in the sense that it covers all of the adjacent squares and can move to them, but it's also weirdly limited in its mobility. We do get the wildebeest developed. I think I can just take this for free. Oh no, the wildebeest, yeah, the wildebeest can take back because the wildebeest can make an L shape of length 2 or length 3. So it's not like a camel that can only go a distance of 3. So, okay, the wildebeest does take back, which means it's also threatening the archbishop actually. So I should probably move him out of the way. I do like the position of this archbishop looking in through the side. They move the general out of the way, so this soldier is no longer pinned, but I'm going to slide the queen over now and target the wildebeest. We have 62 moves to hunt down that general. They do develop the archbishop, which defends the wildebeest, so should I capture, they can always take back. I don't think I have to overthink this though, right? Or maybe I can develop this wildebeest, right? That was my strategy in the first game. The opponent says, I don't understand this game. That makes 2 of us, haha. Okay, the wildebeest takes. I mean, they have to understand it to some extent. They at least understand how the variant pieces move, which is at least something. I'm gonna take back with this king. Reason being, I want to open up this space for the, oh, what is this called? The knighted knight or something? Oh, the knight rider, that's right. Because you have a knight riding on top of another knight, which makes it able to move very far as a knight. Okay, they promote into a camel. Let's start bringing these guys in. I'm going to shuffle the king out of the way, and my idea is these 2 kings come into play. The queen goes in first, and then this knight rider comes in this way. I don't know if I'm being way too slow about my approach. I am allowing the opponent to complete a decent number of promotions, but I think it's my best chance. I mean, they're doing a good job by covering this space. You'd imagine that's kind of a critical square, so maybe I'll go for that first. I'll go in with my king or my queen or somebody and allow them to take so I can take back with my queen. And if they don't, then I'm gonna walk straight in and capture that archbishop so nobody's covering this square anymore. Okay, so I can definitely take. I only have 54 moves left. I mean, it goes by a little more slowly than I thought. Like, I've eliminated a decent number of green's pieces, and we're still not that far into the game. I'm sure that when we get down to 15 or 20 moves, I'll start definitely feeling the pressure, but for the time being, I think we're doing all right. Okay, so we need more pieces covering this square. Yeah, this army of kings is so difficult to move through. I mean, you can imagine I can just bring in another king. The problem is it's just a very slow piece. I guess the question I'm trying to answer is, which one is slower? What on earth is that? Oh my goodness, what kind of two-eyed demigorgon demon thing is that? Okay, I don't even want to find out. It looks like a hat. If I make fun of it, it can't hurt me, right? Okay, they're going in for another one, you'd imagine. I have no idea what this piece is or what it does. Okay, we'll go this, so let's not hang an archbishop for no reason. Okay, they take back, which means I can come in with the king. Oh, we're down to 49 moves. I feel like I'm being way too slow about this, and they just move the camel out of the way anyways. Okay, how do I go about this? I need to bring in faster pieces. So let's go like this. We'll start bringing in some knight riders. I think that's my best chance. I'm just gonna not focus on trying to use my kings too much. I'm just gonna go in with all of my knight riders and try to play for an attack. You can see this knight rider jumped all the way across the board because it moved like a knight once, twice, and thrice. Okay, what just happened? I don't know how that camel got over there. Oh, it's a camel rider. So it moved like a camel once and then moved like a camel twice. What is that? It just moved through a wall. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness I don't have a king, for example, back here that I have to protect, because no doubt the opponent would have a piece over here that somehow moves like this, like that, and then captures my king, and I wouldn't be any wiser to it. Okay, they take with the archbishop. Can I use this to my advantage? Not really, but I can bring in the knight rider, which is, I guess, okay. I do have 21 seconds though. We have 5 seconds delay, and I have 43 moves to grab that general. Okay, let's go here. Going in for this soldier, and I'm trying to go in from behind, almost like a back rank mate sort of thing. I just realized I forgot to mention that as well. In this variant, you get 5 seconds of delay. Okay, they're gonna move this way if I target the general right now. So how do I cover that square? I'm not really sure, but I'm just gonna bring in more pieces until I figure it out. Okay, I'm targeting this soldier now, which is good, which does target the general, although I just realized the general can take back, right, because it moves like a knight. Okay, we'll just go in and try to capture all of these pieces, and hopefully in 38 moves, I can find a way to bring in another piece and actually deliver mate. Okay, so we do threaten the general. The king and the queen protect each other, which is fine. For the time being, that will certainly do. Let's target the general again. Should be totally safe. The camel can't touch us. And I believe the soldier moves this way. Oh, they do take, which means I can take back. And with that, we win our 3rd game of Thermopylae. I don't think there's anything to analyze. I just want to play with the green pieces. So we are 2 for 3 at the moment. I feel kind of bad. They put triple question mark in the chat. I'm gonna say good game. I mean, as much as I would love to sit here and explain the rules to them, it was more than enough of a headache for me to go and understand them myself. I don't think I'd be able to explain it all that well in chat. I will give them the win conditions though. Red. Oh, it didn't let me finish typing. And I get paired with a 2100 rated opponent. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to delete that message. Stickbug, if you are watching this video, GG's, and I hope that you did finally figure your way out through this variant. Okay, they move the king back. I'm gonna move the queen out again. I'm gonna go with the exact same opening. There's a weakling in chat. Well, that's not very conducive to a learning environment. Okay, they move the king back. I'm gonna start with the exact same opening, draw the rook out, and then I want the rook to fall down here and give check to the yellow king. They develop the wildebeest. I will move my archbishop here, which should draw the rook down, and I should be in a pretty good spot. I will say this opponent is rated 2100, so if I do somehow manage to win this, we're in for a decent amount of rating. And if I don't, I shouldn't lose that much either. They move the wildebeest back. Now, last time I tried to bum rush the opponent with the king, and that didn't really work out all that well, but what I might do is move these first couple of kings sort of just out of the way, so I can follow up with other more strong pieces. Okay, I'll definitely take a free king if I can get it. They promote to a general. I'm gonna bring in the archbishop. Again, we're gonna really fight for the square. I almost want to call it E5 because it reminds me of the E5 square when I played the London. It's a critical square to fight for because it's my only real concrete way into the position. So whoever controls the square pretty much controls the battle. So let's go here with the archbishop. One of the kings does move back because we were targeting it. Let's bring the wildebeest in as well. Targeting this king again. They move one of their soldiers to the side. Oh, and we're not in fact targeting the king. Wait, why can't I capture like this? It's very confusing. Oh, because I can only move once at a time. Okay, so this one doesn't move infinitely like the others. Okay, let's bring this archbishop this way. Maybe if I have a couple of different avenues of attack, I'll be in a better spot. So I have this sort of looming pressure on this square, but I also want to have some pressure on this diagonal. I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but at least from my experience in normal chess, the more pressure you have on your opponent, the more likely they are to give way at some point, even accidentally. I just realized their profile picture is the duck song guy. Got any mates? Okay, they move the soldier over. Let's bring the queen in as well. You'd imagine this is a pretty gnarly battery to have lined up against the enemy general. I was going to call it the king. They move their general out of the way. Let's go ahead and line up on this diagonal. Lots of pressure on this soldier. I don't know if it's a winning capture though. If I take, the opponent can take back. I take, the opponent takes back. It's not a winning capture, but it's a decent amount of pressure on the enemy position. Let's go here next. I'd like to get this trade so that this archbishop can capture this king, removing one of the defenders. Although I guess this soldier captures backwards as well. This is very tricky. Okay, let's go further in. Wildebeest moves out of the way. Let's go ahead and trade off the kings. I'd imagine trades for me are kind of always favorable. And maybe, no, let's bring in a queen as well first. I think the more trades I get, just in general, the better off I'm going to be. They promote to another general. Okay, fair enough. Okay, and I think that I'm ready to play this with the threat of capturing the soldier. And I do have a pretty nice battery lined up here. Okay, the wildebeest moves back, which means I can take. They do take back. We'll recapture with the archbishop. And the general flees the scene. Fair enough. Okay, I can take this for free. I mean, you'd imagine taking pieces for free is almost always a good idea, especially when the enemy army inherently has fewer pieces than your own. I'm also doing okay on time, but we know how that usually goes on this channel. Archbishop moves over. Let's bring a queen in as well. Archbishop develops. Kind of traps this archbishop a little bit, so I'm going to develop mine back out along that battery so it can get traded off ideally. General moves back. Okay, I'm definitely moving down and giving this check. Somehow we've got the opponent down to 10 seconds, which is very, very rare on this channel, but they do give up the general to get their general out of check. Okay, wildebeest shuffles over. I guess we just keep capturing pieces. I don't think there's a reason for me to overthink this. I mean, 46 moves is not a lot, but as long as I prioritize trades, it should be a decent amount to get into the enemy's position. Wildebeest comes out to play. Let's, oh, what do we do here? I'm gonna move this queen over, I think. Oh wait, no, I have to defend this queen. As long as I don't give up material and the trades are even, I think I should be justified. Oh, okay, and we flagged the opponent. Holy cow. Okay, cool. With that, we beat a 2200 rated opponent by forfeiting them on time. Again, that wasn't really my plan. I have explicitly said on the channel in the past, when my plan is to flag the opponent, that wasn't really my plan this time, but my plan was to apply enough pressure that somehow the opponent sort of gives in. The opponent chose the sort of implicit other route. Instead of giving in and making a mistake because they didn't think for long enough, they decided to just go down on time, which is respectable as well. I can only hope that they maybe practice some slightly better sportsmanship. Even if they are kidding, that can be misinterpreted by new coming players, and we don't want that. Okay, with that, we are, what are we, like, oh my goodness. I count over 4 and I already get confused. I think we're 3 for 4. I don't know if that's completely right, but I'm pretty sure we are 3 for 4. Let's go ahead and do one last bonus game, number 5. Okay, game number 5. Oh, it happened. Okay, we have the green pieces now. No, come back. Please come back. Play again. Yes, play again. Oh, I was so excited. I'd gotten 4 games in a row, I think. 4 games in a row now with the red pieces. And I really wanted a shot at playing with the green pieces instead. Because it would be kind of a shame to have to end this episode without having played with the green pieces. All right. Oh, okay. We are given the red pieces again. Against a 1700 rated opponent, we'll start with the exact same opening as before. Again, we just want to open up this file, draw the rook away from the green pieces, and make it more difficult for them to give up their general, which is one of the ways that they can win this variant. Okay, now we give up the other queen. It's pretty clear that the opponent has every intention of dropping the general off on this side of the board and running away with a quick and neat victory. I think I can play the exact same opening as before. If I'm not mistaken, we are in the exact same position as the first game. Okay, but the opponent is clever. They're playing this a little bit differently. Instead of lining the general up right next to the rook, they're lining it up one space away with the idea of drawing the rook towards their general, at which point they can just keep it adjacent and the rook has no choice but to take on the next turn because it is check motivated, but it would rather take a general than give up the attack. So what do I have to do? I have to defend the different squares from which the general could move, or rather to which the general could move. I'm confusing myself so badly that even my English is falling apart. Okay, let's go here. As expected, the rook moves over. You'd imagine the general is going to move this way to try to stay in check, but the problem is then I can just take. So I think, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I should have done it with the archbishop. Didn't I even say like 3 games ago that I was going to start using the archbishop? Well, then I guess the general could have moved this way. Wait, what was I supposed to have done there? I am not really certain, to be honest. I guess it doesn't matter. I can now move the archbishop over here and the rook can just shuffle back over. So maybe I'm okay. Yeah, the rook, okay, perfect. Never mind. I've freaked myself out for no reason. The rook will continue to give checks as long as giving checks is a possibility. Okay, the general moves back. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's continue. Oh goodness, how do we continue this? Do I continue to emphasize this attack? It feels very natural to do that. But maybe what I'll do is just move my own archbishop out of the way, allow blue to capture, and now I can focus on my attacking ideas. Okay, the wildebeest takes, of course, I'm going to take back. And finally, we've gotten that blue rook into the dungeon, and it only costs me 3/4 of my time. Okay, now I have to play very quickly. Right, we're going to start by just charging at these kings, and as long as I play within my 5-second delay, I should be okay. I don't think I have to think through my moves all that much. I can follow sort of the script that I followed in the last game, which is to bring some pieces out to attack the diagonal, some pieces out to attack the center, and all in all, it should result in some sort of advantage for me. I almost thought about moving the king this way to target the king, and then I realized that literally what I want is to give up these kings, so other actual stronger pieces, respectfully to the king, can follow suit. Okay, let's bring the wildebeest out as well. I'm still playing it within my designated delay, which is good. They take back. Okay, let's bring the queen in as well. And then maybe the archbishop comes out to play this way. I think that's fine. If the archbishop takes my queen, I just take back. I don't really have to concern myself too much with what is a fair trade and what is not. Like if I gave up a bunch of queens and archbishops for soldiers, okay, then maybe it would be a concern. But generally speaking, I think as long as I'm trading pieces, I'm in a good spot. Okay, they're moving so fast. Okay, let's keep bringing more pieces into the attack. Let's go this way so the archbishop can form a battery. They are sort of starting to give up control of the square, which is really interesting. The problem is the fact that these soldiers can capture this way makes them very strong at defending each other. Okay, let's start giving up material. I'm okay with giving up material as long as it opens up the position. I've dropped 3 seconds off of my main sort of starting time, which is never really ideal. Again, I'm just gonna throw everything in their general direction and hope that something sticks. I could have taken there, I just realized. Okay, oh goodness. Okay, let's go this way. Again, we have so much firepower to work with, but you have to get rid of so many kings first that it almost makes more sense to just go in with the kings and whatever pieces make it through, just work with those pieces instead. Okay, and then maybe I'll do this. Oh, and then I can unleash all of these archbishops. Okay, we're down to 45 moves. I've made this an egregiously slow process, but I think I've finally found my way. Yeah, if I can bring in all of these archbishops, I think I'm in a really nice spot. Okay, we'll just start giving up kings. Absolutely no regard for these pieces. They are nothing more than obstructions to my position, and I guess bait for the opponent. What a strange take on chess. Very, very cool though. I like this variant and where it's going with things. Okay, let's go. Let's just start bringing in the archbishops. Okay, what do I have to do to bring in more archbishops? I guess just give up some kings. We're down to 40 moves. This is not really how I wanted this to go, but it's where we're at the moment. Okay, we'll bring in this archbishop, and my hope is that eventually if I can place an archbishop here, I can target that general and be justified in my sort of sacrifices. Okay, we'll bring in another archbishop. I think we can sack this knight for that soldier if it does get there. I just don't want them to promote to another archbishop or a general or what have you and have more defensive pieces. Okay, the wildebeest comes out to play. I don't know if I'm just giving up material for no reason, but I feel like keeping the pressure on the opponent is kind of critical here. Okay, let's play this, and we've put the general in check. That seems like it did something, maybe, hopefully. Okay, the general just moves back. I guess I should prioritize getting rid of these archbishops. We're down to 33 moves. I'm cutting this spectacularly close. Let's bring in another archbishop this way. 32 moves to go. Holy cow, am I that slow? Okay, let's go this way now. Oh, and I said I was gonna take that and I didn't. When they promoted to a queen as well, which is really not a good spot to be in. Okay, let's go here. 30 moves to go. Maybe I go here and bring this wildebeest out. Well, I feel like I'm not using these knight riders enough. The problem is there's no clear line of sight into the enemy's position. Maybe I I move this king here and shuffle this one over. Seems loosely reasonable. It's a pretty good way to describe most of the moves I've been making. Again, the time trouble is creeping in on us. Oh, and they capture. Is that free? No, I can take back. Okay, I think I'm doing okay. I think surprisingly, somehow I'm holding on to everything. Let's go here, threaten this. Maybe threaten to bring the archbishop in as well. Okay, king shuffles over. Maybe I just start sacrificing. They do take, oh, they take back with the general. Holy cow, and we do manage to snipe him off the board with a sneaky archbishop. Those bishops never get any less sneaky. With that, we do win yet another game. I'm gonna play one more game, but if I don't get the green pieces, then I do have to call it there. Okay, perfect. I almost gave up right before striking gold. Classic gambling mentality. Okay, they go with the same opening. It's so strange to look at this now from the other perspective. I guess I'm gonna go with the idea of developing the general. You will not find me playing defensive chess trying to hold down the fort with this number of pieces against this swarm of enemies. Okay, now let's shuffle the general over. Queen comes in, and what do I have to do here? I just played the general here now, right? Oh no, red gets to move first. Ooh, okay. I see. Okay, let's go here with the wildebeest. I'm gonna wait to bring the general in until the timing is perfect. But hopefully, I mean, you saw that they immediately opened up this file. Hopefully that doesn't lead to the rook just disappearing on me. Okay, wait a minute, now I can play this. This seems reasonable. They have to move the queen out of the way, right? So the rook has somewhere to give another check from, and they put me in check as well. Can't take that queen. I may have jumped the gun on this a little bit. Oh, I can move here though. No, but that allows the rook to go down. Maybe I can play this? I mean, it's a little bit of a brute force way to go about this, blocking the enemy rook, or rather blocking the blue rook from giving that check by giving up my general. And you can see this is very well controlled, so it would be too risky, or rather impossible, to get my general in that way. But it seems like my best bet. Okay, let's keep walking towards that rook. Oh, nice. And we do manage to give up the general. Sweet. With that, we win a game with the green pieces as well. Okay, I'm going to call it there. I had a lot of fun playing this variant, and thank you guys so much to those of you that recommended this variant to me in that poll that I recently made asking if I should play these sort of more ominous chess variants. I will say, when I made that poll, I was expecting it to be a little bit closer. I think as it stands now, it has a couple thousand votes, and it's like 95 to 5% in favor of me playing these insane variants. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below what other obscure variants I should take a deep dive into, and I will see you guys in the next one.